Warning. The content in this podcast contains some explicit language which may be offensive to some listeners and may be inappropriate for children. Therefore, the content in this podcast is intended for a mature audience only.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody going to clean it up.
It's a beautiful feeling. I ask God, tell Jesus, tell the angels, to tell my mama, to tell my family, we made it.
So, when'd you fall in love with hip-hop?
Right here, what we're gonna do is go back.
Real man. So I already started this. This is Mocha T. This is Capri.
This is Dante.
And I'm Mika. And we have special guests with us today. We can start from my left.
All right. You got your boy Vokalgold in the building.
L-1-3, OKSTEEVO.
And we've been kicking it. And drinking.
Already, huh?
Dante can't drink though, so she might be a little hating throughout this whole process. She and her feelings, but it is her own doing.
Look, she ain't pregnant, y'all, though. Look, that'll get the rumor. Dante can't drink. She ain't pregnant, y'all. She can't drink. Yeah, that'd be let's get that cleared up. She ain't pregnant. Yeah.
It ain't probation and she ain't pregnant.
It's a choice.
Yeah, it's her choice.
Only for 30 days, though.
Because she gonna be drunk by the 31st.
On that 31st day, you gonna be good.
Oh yeah, we're going on a cruise, so she gonna be
Okay.
Well, I'm on a cruise.
Where you going?
Dominican Republic and the
Green Turk.
Okay.
Can y'all interview me on that? Can I go?
Heck yeah.
I mean, yeah, you pay for yourself.
Go get your ticket. It's 11 women.
You know anywhere you want to go if you pay for yourself.
Not the trip you really trying to go on. I promise you it's not.
Listen,
I just wanted to interview.
that trouble that you was talking about.
Why that ain't the trip you want to go on?
Well, that's just a lot of women to be around. First off, for a week, all right? And you going by yourself, bro, come on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's just a lot of women for us to be around.
Yeah, look, he like, I don't know.
That's why I asked.
I'm not single no more. You feel me?
Sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah. See, then you not riding in the same lane no more.
Can he go?
All right, y'all.
He is definitely welcome to join us.
He can go as tribute.
If he'd like to.
Salute to that.
Go on and get your ticket.
Go on and get your ticket and come on.
Let's do dates, times, hours. We good.
Okay, cool. So, I usually come with a question.
Yeah, so go ahead.
But I wanted to make the question today a little more relevant to some things going on in our community. I kind of listened to some of y'all's music, and it sounds like y'all are pretty relevant. Y'all kind of make some messages in y'all's music. Yeah. I listened to it. And so I kind of wanted to make this question a little aligned with that. So the question for today is, can a person's perspective be wrong?
No. That's your perspective and that's your truth. That's what you believe in and it comes from you. It's going to be a bunch of people that's going to disagree with your truth. And you got to respect that opinion and that truth. Mm-hmm. But to come to a common ground, you got to be like, hey, look, we may not agree, but that's how I feel about this. Now, you can give me other advice and other pinpoints about what you feel about my opinion. Might be right. I might need to reconstruct that. But at the end of the day, I don't think nobody's opinion or perspective is wrong.
Okay.
That's actually was a great answer. That actually changed my initial answer. I don't know. This just on some real talk. Like, from me, like his perspective may be wrong to me, but to him, it's not wrong. It's your truth. As my man said. So that's how I think it goes even deeper to, that's my interpretation of a situation. If I'm wrong or right, but when you talk about a perspective, this is how I see it. So I can't be wrong to myself. Now you do get to a point where you're like, you know what, I missed that. Or, you know, I should have saw that sign or that red flag, or I should have noticed that about myself. So my interpretation of the situation may have been wrong, but my perspective is how I felt. So I kind of straddled the fence on that, and he turned me over. I ain't even gonna lie to you. So appreciate that. That's real.
That's kind of that gray area, like your perception is your reality.
Yeah.
We can all of us think up is up, right? And we have one person out the group say, no, well, that way is down. Like, we all know that way is not down, right?
Right.
We know it's not down, but their perception and perspective, that's their reality, and that's not wrong to them. So it's kind of like, it's almost like yes and no. You feel what I'm saying?
It depends on how you look at it. Like from the inside looking out, I can't be wrong. Outside looking in, everybody gonna have their opinions, your perspective on my perspective. But mine is the truth. I have to live this, and you have to live yours. That's what brought you to wherever you were at. So that's a deep question. I think we just all get caught up, though. I think perspective can be wrong, but it's not so much perspective that we have to blame.
Okay.
Like, I see it how I see it.
Right. So can you tell a person their perspective? Should you tell a person their perspective is wrong?
Not if you don't want to start a whole debate.
Right.
Because they going to be in their feelings. Because you can't really keep it $1 with people like you used to. You know, they going to be in their feelings. And at this point, they feeling like, well, what is it that you don't understand about what I believe?
Defensive.
You know what I'm saying? They going to get real defensive. So if you can, try to explain it in a way to where, you know, like, okay, I'm not agreeing with you, but I respect it. You got to kind of like ease your argument, your rebuttal in there before you give it to them, because you got to like compliment first, and compliment first, and then get the business.
Sugar before the shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got to compliment twice, and then get the business.
Two compliments.
People are so sensitive about their opinions.
Right. Or
they just like we sensitive about our music.
But like you said, it's their opinion, and everybody's brain is different, so we view things and we take things in differently. So you really can't tell somebody that it's wrong, but you can talk to them and, you know, and hope that they see it from your angle. But if they don't see it from your angle, doesn't mean that it's wrong. They just don't see it.
You just have to have the approach. Let me just real quick say, you have to have the approach of, at least I have to look at my perspective, is however versus but. You know what? I hear what you're saying. However, you know, if I was in your shoes, or the way I would do it is this way. Yeah. But when you say but, you negate everything somebody just said before that. So, however, is I'm adding on. Like, let's build on this idea or suggestion. You know what I mean?
That's some
versus
tactics.
but is like, you just cross my shit out. I hear what you're saying, but
you don't want to draw a line in the sand.
What you say, I hear what you're saying, but I hear what you're saying, and however, I think that it should be this, that, and the other. So I think that's the differences in approaches. So
alrighty, so I'm gonna throw because this is a layered thing.
Of course,
I felt like it was.
It's very layered. It's very layered. Okay.
Absolutely.
It's very layered. It's gonna be very deep.
I got the answer right. I almost feel like it's.
But when I ask this question to now everybody that I run across in our community, because we're black,
right?
And for us, we say our perspective can't be wrong because it's what we've lived and what we see and how we feel. So this week we had a young boy shot, killed in front of a home in Edmond. Police officers get there. We don't really know the encounter because we weren't personally there.
Yeah.
All we know is what we've heard. And now we have 2 police officers on administrative paid leave. Mm-hmm. And more than likely, because the trend has been, they probably will not have to serve any level of time for this.
Facts.
So, what we've run across now, and what a lot of us going on is, when we get them into a court of law, their perception is that it was dangerous. It was a dangerous situation. I felt like I was in danger. My life was in danger, and I reacted in that manner. Whatever might have happened, again, we weren't there. So we're saying to them, their perception is wrong. Although we all just said that we can't tell a person their perception is wrong, that there has to be a different way to tell them that we have to be nice about how we say it, that we have to give them the sugar before the shit, before we tell them their perception is wrong. But we get angry when it comes to that space of telling them that.
You put us in a trick bag though with that.
But let's break out
and I have a son. I have a son. And I have to go home and I have to have this real life conversation with my son and educate my son on what his perception is in this world, because the black man is deemed dangerous in this world. So are we then saying that in a court of law, because in a court of law, perception is reality, and that's what's getting them off, is their perception. They're saying that their perception, they perceived it as a danger.
And so where I disagree with that is, it's not so much. If it is, no, I want to be a however person versus a what person. I won't say that perception is right or wrong or validated. What I will say is, if it keeps happening, and every time it's the same reason of a perception, then something is wrong with the foundation. That's what be my rebuttal to that is, if you tell me that every time from the inside it's right, it's justified, but on the outside it's wrong or it's questionable. I won't even we don't know each situation, and it's rough. Everyone is wrong, and I live in Edmond right now today, and my son go to Santa Fe, which is less than a half a mile away from where this shooting happened. You can't tell me it don't hit home. Like, the perception is what the perception is, but at the same time, if it keeps happening, and all you can tell me is perception, and the facts don't line up to perception. I mean, not even the fact. It's not my job to your perception. I can't tell you were scared for your life, but as a trained
Thank you.
That's police officer.
That's what I said.
Yeah. You're not reacting like me.
As a trained.
I can fear up faster than you because I'm not in this situation every day. I haven't simulated this situation every day in a schooling. So you can't tell me that your perception is I fear for my life every day, because you're the best of the best.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're supposed to handle all of these situations. So when that's the answer, that's why that's the part where it's like, you can't keep telling me this. I'm smarter than you. Or the training is wrong. One or the other. We got to get this out.
And I think
there's something wrong.
I think where we get, and this is just me playing devil's advocate, don't think it doesn't hit home for me too, because again, I have a black son, and at the end of the day, when I had my son, it wasn't until I had my son, I think, that I started being like, oh my gosh, what am I bringing him into?
Yeah.
Right.
And I started realizing, like, I'm bringing my son into a world that absolutely sees just his skin.
Right.
Doesn't know him, doesn't know how loving he is, doesn't know anything about him. My son will have to learn how to be very nice to the little old lady that he may stop. And I'm going to have to teach my son that, because my son is the 5-year-old who says, Mama, don't touch your door.
Right.
When he wants to help an old lady carry her groceries so that she's not afraid of him, I have to teach him how to damn near
How to do it, even.
almost bow down to this white lady to help her so that she doesn't perceive him as a threat. So that being said, we are, and I had to think about this today, because I'm thinking, how am I going to ask them this question? Because I really wanted to ask this question to y'all. We are 4 generations from the civil rights movement.
Pretty much.
So when we talk about perception comes from experience. Perception usually comes from what you're taught, usually from your experience and whatever your parents give you, whatever your grandparents give you, the cherry pickings. We talking about my grandmother was dead smack in the middle of the civil rights movement. My mother was born in 1964. 4 years later, Martin Luther King was assassinated. Mm-hmm. She was 4 years old. Then you have me, and my mother had me when she was 17. Then I have my own babies. Perception hasn't. We only 2 generations away from civil rights movement, and I do believe it's training. But has training changed since the civil rights movement?
You have to ask that question. We're now saying that this is wrong, this is a problem, it needs to
I think
change.
that's an excuse that a lot of them are using because it works.
I don't think I think it's power,
works.
but it's power.
It works.
But majority,
The perception is
It's the
usually
fallback. If you
what
have
they do.
And I'm
it's
feeling
not
what
on
you're saying.
camera,
And all the things you name, perception is basically just sums it up as what you see. What you see. I have a perception of what I've never been to Brooklyn. But what I think Brooklyn is everything that I heard from Biggie, everything I heard from Jay, everything I heard from Kings of New York, or saw it on the movie screen.
Right.
It's everything that I have seen from them. So if I feel like that shit is like in Brooklyn the way it is, white folks out there, that's exactly what they think that is. And I'm not giving no pass to the police officers because, yeah, you be trained to deprogram you to like, okay, that's not what it is.
But you
have to know what it is and you have to evaluate the situation. But as far as taking that aside and putting like America or, the world in a whole, it's what you see. I'm gonna ask y'all this, like the stuff that we put out, the stuff that we glorify and that we like. You know what I mean? Because I like it. I love the minister societies. I love the Boys in the Hood.
We have to
on one side, it's them telling their truth. And then check it out though. And I'm kind of with I'm playing double. Yeah, exactly.
I see
playing double advocate.
I see where you're going.
Because we can see it as okay. That's just how they are.
And that's
how they live.
We
that's
can talk about it. Nobody else can talk about it.
Yeah,
and that's wrong in itself.
It is.
Like even from a perspective to bring it back to our music and hearing our music, we talk about these things, but at the same time, it's not a glorifying. It's almost a testimony. Like we made it through these things. Like even when I go back to the movement that I try to start, we're making it out the hood. It ain't cool to be in the hood. Like we didn't choose this. We made it what it was, and it was great actually for what we had to come into. But at the same time, this is not a choice. So we have to educate ourselves through whichever platforms we have at our disposal to elevate ourselves in this game. Like we've rallied, we've marched, we've talked, we've got on TV, we've got on YouTube. At this point, it's like, okay, it's time to get in a position of power. And that's what you're leading to on what's the solution? Because we could talk about,
exactly.
I mean, it hurts because it's home. Like a kid from our home state got killed this week. Babies in Hugo, Oklahoma got shot this week by the police in their negligence. Let's talk. It's cool to talk about it, but what are we gonna do?
And
the only way we
that's
can really
individual. That's individual too. I don't mean to cut you off. Sorry, but that's individual too.
Yeah.
Every individual, of
But
course, you know what I'm saying, has
you
their
gotta
own
teach
mind.
the collective too, though.
Has their own mind too, right? Because I'll listen to, and I know you're saying like you know what I'm saying from the hood, it's not cool. But look on the outside looking in. Listening to Jay-Z, growing up being a Jay-Z fan, even go to the Nipseys and the Jeezys and the T.I.s. No, you're not thinking about what they had to do to get where they're at. You're hearing them say, yeah, this is what I did, but look at me now. That's cool. Even as a young kid, when you're listening to hip-hop music and you're watching these rap videos, I know you're saying it's not cool. That is cool. It just is. When you're looking at it, it is cool.
It's cool
but it's
to
the
make
different. But it's a
cool
different. It's the own individual. I'll circle back to the individual mind state. It's like, yeah, that is. Yeah, that's cool. I don't have to sell bricks. I don't have to shoot them up. You know what I'm saying?
Hov did that.
So hopefully I wouldn't have to go through that. Yeah.
And like I can look at us and I can hear you gentlemen talk, and you ladies, I definitely know you the ladies. We've seen a lot, we've been through a lot, so we can speak from at this point of the game the big homie perspective. So that's something that I at least take upon myself. Is like, wait, no, it's not cool. Like that's not the part that we're making cool. Like the part of getting through the street life and taking care of your family. And being out to take care of your family and not being dead to take care of your family.
How you tell a nigga from the hood though that ain't cool though? You know what I'm saying?
Because that's his perspective.
That's his perspective, and his
Right.
perspective.
It's his reality.
It's not cool to me.
Yeah,
You have to say
we're
that.
older, and we can look on the outside in.
You do not know that man walks of life.
Right. On me.
You don't know if he may have seen something to make him want to change. If he haven't seen a new reality, that's gonna forever be his reality.
Straight up.
And
So
you
it's
ain't
our
gonna change that.
responsibility as big homies.
So then
talk about
the other
these
question
kids.
is this. So with that being said, and I've said this on several occasions, I think that we harmed ourselves desegregating
I feel like integration weakened our community. And
Ooh,
I believe that
you tapping into something real deep right now.
I believe
Where you
that
going with it?
I believe that when you have a majority who tells us this is their perspective of us, and the only way to change, one, they have to be willing to change their perspective. We're talking 2 generations past civil rights. How do you effectively change that perspective? Or do you care to change that perspective and you just create strength within your own community, build up your own community, put your own arms, put your own police officers in your own community, build up your own community, and don't worry about their community. And teach your kids. And teach your kids.
It's not gonna happen.
But this is the thing.
I feel what it's supposed to happen,
and teach our kids, just like you go into a job, and when you send your kids into corporate America, each and every one of us, when we send our babies into corporate America, we teach them how to walk into corporate America because it's their world.
Yeah,
and we all
you
know
gotta
it.
know how to maneuver.
And you got to know how to maneuver in
That's
it.
crazy.
You show up earlier than you're supposed to.
Right.
On time is late.
Keep your head down and work.
You keep your head down. You stay in your own business.
You
and you work
harder than everybody else.
You work harder than everybody else.
If you want
Ain't
more,
no option.
Let the Mexicans out.
But then that's how we need to teach them how to operate in their community.
Wait.
If that's their perception, because when we talk about perception being
That ain't
reality,
gonna happen to niggas work. That's not.
We ain't working
Niggas
hard
just work. They're hard work.
not today. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Well, shout out Cinco de Mayo, man. Shout out to the Mexicans.
I'm just saying, if you ain't working hard enough, he'll get your job.
He gonna get it.
He gonna get your job.
But
and take less.
So I definitely get what you're saying. I think it's a balance. Like and a lot of people don't understand the fact that you have to know how to operate in corporate America, as well as you have to be respected in the streets.
And you got to
make an impact on these kids. You have to do both because you're not going to get the money you want and be able to be legal and free if you're in these streets just getting money. So you have to find a way to get some corporate money. You have to get in a position of power. And once you get in a position of power, then you have influence. Like, people don't respect just money or just respect. Like, you have to have money and respect to get power.
And let me tell you the difference. White people understand that.
They understand it because they perfected it.
And they live it and they perfected it and they're teaching, and we trying to get it in their community.
Like, we
so
want
if
respect
that's the
first.
thing, right?
Man, it's policies that hold us back. Like, when you want to go, if you going like that route and going deep into it, it's policies that hold you back. You know what I mean?
But let me tell you why policies hold us back. Because we allow them to.
Explain it to me.
That's it.
Tax loopholes, different things that we don't know about that can actually advance us and get us money in.
Well, that's what hurts us, that we don't know about.
Yeah.
And that's our fault.
Yeah.
And we got to learn how to educate ourselves.
And I get where you're going, and I get where she had went. Like, it's our fault. Like, when I talk about position of power, like, I always tell anybody, I'm a leader in corporate America today. And I tell any employee, you have to learn how to play the game. Like, you can't just be like, I'm going to do it my way. You have to learn how to play the game. You got to, yes, sir, no, ma'am, and feel no humility at all. Whatever job you want me to do. If I'm in corporate America, I'm going to do the janitor's job and be happy about it. And then I'm going to say, what you got left for me, boss? To get this money? Like, it's not, you have to take the humility part out of it. And a lot of times we come in entitled.
Yeah.
Especially, and us that got kids, we really know they're real entitled. Because our generation was the started to get entitled. Like, we got the Sega Genesis and the Nintendo, so we felt good about it. Like, we were able to get cable in high school.
And phones with three-way.
I gotta push back on that because in the, of course, I'm a artist. I'm an artist first, but we all have to do what we have to do to make ends meet, to push. Like I was talking about earlier, push what we do. I sell cars. If you're good at what you do, you don't have to be okay. You don't have to follow the status quo. You can almost write your own check. I know the shit in my business.
You have to be great.
If you're better than
like good is
not
we
good.
Can be average. If we're good, we can
better.
be
How about let me rephrase it?
Like let me tell you.
Let me tell you what every other culture outside of us has learned. Asians, you can't just be good. You gotta be great. Mexicans, Latinos. Sorry. You can't just be good, you gotta be great. Each and every one of them push their kids to be great.
And you know what?
And it don't matter what they do.
Because they're not.
I got one
but their
thing.
parents were great, and now we go to these convenience stores. We be on the east,
But another thing,
and them ain't great.
That's what I'm saying. They
But
not
got
great. They just
money
know
because
they know the
their
plan.
parents-
They got the
We
blueprint.
didn't have
know
the
what?
parents
They got
that
the
were great.
blueprint.
Unfortunately,
stuck
sorry
together,
to our
too.
parents.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
5,
They
6,
ain't
7
never
people.
broke up.
5,
Right.
6, 7 people in one house. You know what I mean?
Asians
So
don't,
when you
they gonna live
as a
in one
collective,
house.
you can be good.
Hispanics don't
As
live
a
in one house.
collective, you can be
Latinos.
good.
As a collective, as an individual, you
better
have to be great.
Super great. Like,
And that's the
like when
problem,
you
is
go
our
into-
community isn't strong enough to say that we're at the Asian part. You know what? Asian kids are they're becoming Americanized, but they can. They can lax up a little bit.
Yeah,
Their community is
they can
strong
do it
enough
straight.
for them to do that.
We got income.
My daughter goes to a school with, she's probably number 5 in Latinos. You know how many of them kids got cars, and they not just raggedy cars.
Yeah.
And half of them ain't got a license.
Oh, they're definitely helping our economy.
Do you get what I'm saying? And they not.
They
And,
are.
but let me tell you, their parents have paved the way to be able to allow them to now start laxing
And it
up.
was even their grandparents.
Even their grandparents. People
it was-
realize-
they came
They
in
got
with a
loans
position
from
that they
from
can
the
wiggle in.
United States, though.
Right.
Anything that they had going on here, they got loans.
And they did.
We won't get them.
You want to know why?
But they got them early too, though.
Because
They got what?
They got 'em
also
early.
because they continue to circulate, but they circulate a dollar through their own community.
Absolutely.
And they own family. They
So
kept that
if
going.
one of us going to business today, so, and this is the however, not the but. If one of us going to business tomorrow, our community is going to be slow to support us.
Exactly.
Of course, always.
Absolutely.
But if you're Asian, if you're Chinese, I don't give a care if it's 18 other rice places. We eat rice 21 days. You're going to get some of our money too. It don't work like that in our community.
It
So,
don't. And that's the problem. And
so
that's
that's a
the
very.
How do you change? Do it change?
I don't know. That's the.
We have to
at-
make-
at
We
this-
have to start
We have
making
to make the
changes.
change.
But
We have to make changes for the purpose of going back to the
Individual.
purpose of why reason I say it. Our babies cannot continue to be shot down in the front of houses simply because people perceive us as a
Right.
threat. Somewhere in
So
the
how we
process,
change?
if we want to have a Black Lives Matter, we want to rally, we want to yell, we want to scream, and we're already saying that perspective is reality, and and you can't change a person's perspective yelling at them.
But I'm gonna tell you what I hear a lot at work though. I hear a lot of how is it that you can get mad at a police officer for shooting, but y'all
But you
kill
kill
each
each
other.
other.
I
But-
hear that all the time.
But let me tell you, that's their perspective.
Exactly.
Yes.
Everybody kill each other.
Right.
Everybody
say
does.
there's no such thing as
close-
black on
it's-
black.
It's
It's-
close.
It's black. You
close
That's when it
kill
proximity.
comes to
people.
There's
that right there.
Roxbury.
People close.
There's Roxbury on Roxbury
On
crime.
me.
If you go to the
Exactly.
ghettos of Boston, Massachusetts, there's going to be crimes on white. I mean,
But it
people,
is close
you're gonna
proximity.
have
It's close to
people-
proximity.
It is.
Because if you
People
have
live
within
close around.
proximity.
At the same time, we can't hide behind that because they're right.
Right.
They're right because we're the ones on the news. Like we're the ones that are on
We've
the front
allowed
line
them
of
to.
killing each other.
We've allowed
We
them to
glorify
tell. We've allowed them to tell our
killing each other.
story. We've
We
allowed
glorify
them
it.
to.
But it's
Man, let's circle
still,
back
it's still
around to
an
the
scapegoat for them to use
But you
about
know
how
what?
you gonna use the
got-
statistic of what we
But it's
do
still the
to
truth.
compare to what you do.
But let me tell you, when you
I
run
don't like
mainstream,
comparisons.
when you run,
It's always apples and oranges.
when you run a nation, you determine the narrative.
on the stats.
You
You're looking at
tell the
numbers.
story.
You're not looking at
Who,
individuals.
as far
You're
as
not
like
looking at
artists?
Isaiah Lewis.
No, just period. No,
You're
I'm
not looking at
saying
Isaiah Lewis.
as a race, they have learned how to come in, take over, monopolize, and tell your story. And your story is what they give to their people.
Right.
And their people have their perception based
So it's
upon
easy
what
to
they
believe it.
tell.
It's
and
easy
so
to believe.
it's easy to believe.
Like,
so if
really?
99% of the news, and we've all watched it, is the black man robbing the bank, robbing this, robbing that, killing this, killing that, then that's their narrative. That's what they get.
And we've
it-
done nothing to change that.
And right.
We've done nothing.
So
Like,
even though it is comparing apples to oranges,
it's
it's
always
still
gonna be-
prevalent in our community.
right, and,
and
it's
it
gonna-
is something that they can use
until we get
against
into a
us.
position to power and show some consistency in some steps forward, we have nothing. We have nothing, and it's like next week. Nobody's gonna say Isaiah Lewis's name, and that's the sad part. Is I'm tired of that part, and that's on us. Like even for our city, right here, what we talking about. We roll for Nipsey's death, like hard.
Oh, man.
Like, but Isaiah Lewis, like, why he ain't trending? Why his name? But there's no excuse for it.
I said that doesn't.
There's no excuse.
I'll be honest.
There's
We
no
done seen so
excuse.
much of this though.
We
But
have
I'm not gonna
But you
accept
can't be numb. You can't be numb.
No.
You can't be
I'm
numb.
upset. I'm hurt. I'm sad about
You
it.
can't accept.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you got.
thing.
I'm in my feelings.
I'm very
I'm in my feelings, but
and as a business owner, as a rapper who needs the support of people, it's very, very hard to not speak on this without sounding emotional or sound any other way, disrespectful, even to Nipsey's legacy. Like, but at the same time, I don't care if it was Trayvon Martin. I don't care. Every situation we've rolled for. I've watched it. Exactly. We've RIP celebrities and this and that and people that have done everything. But a young man in our community get killed, and half of us don't know what time the rally starts.
But
Like,
here's the
like,
other side of it. Like, what you gonna do? Like, what you gonna do?
At the end of the day,
because we've been marching since the 60s.
You have to get in a position of power.
Exactly.
You have to get on.
How you
the position of power leads you to a bigger platform.
If that's
how do you get? But how do you get into a position of power?
I get on your shoulders.
You can't do nothing if you ain't in politics.
You get on my shoulders,
and that goes back to policy. It circles
That's the
back
only
to
way.
policy.
We keep looking at everybody else.
Running for?
We keep looking at everybody else to do something for us.
You look on the side of
get on my shoulders.
Free healthcare.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Back to policy. Free
works.
healthcare, right? Does that not upspring more businesses? People who are not worried about, you know what I'm saying, co-pays and the bills, the medical bills. Like, you have to change the whole dynamic of what this country was built on. And they always say the country is built on Christian Judeo values, but it was really not. You know what I mean? It's really not. You have to change the whole policy. It'll never work. We've been marching since the 60s. Like, are you gonna do something? Like, y'all gonna rise up? Like, back in the day, like back in the olden days, like if they didn't like something, like you going for it, you killing it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's going down. So it ain't gonna go down with us.
Wrong people. We look at exactly.
It's not gonna go down. It should.
So we post. We rather post.
It's not gonna go down.
My thing is like we can't tear up home like they tore up St. Louis when Trayvon got.
Well, it's not about tearing it up. It's
break this down.
But we tearing it. But that's the difference, especially in D.C. I forget the name. Was Garner D.C. The cigarettes selling the cigarettes.
I know. Okay,
anyway,
got you.
They started looting, of course. You know what I'm saying. They started looting and stuff. We tear up our own. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, go to them, tear up they shit. And when I'm not talking about looting and stealing, like, what are you gonna do? Like, if it's you right here, and another man comes and tries to violate you, like, what do you do in that aspect? Like, you go at that nigga, right? You handle that. You protect yourself. But we don't do that shit. We follow with the status quo because we think about cars, clothes, the jewelry, the females. We good. It's America. I got a good life. That shit ain't really happening to me.
Man, you gotta think.
You know what I'm saying?
So you gotta go back. So what my man says,
really
peel back the
don't wanna be
layers.
involved, no matter how they feel in
Minimalistic.
honestly.
I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
I feel like a lot of people don't want to be involved sometimes because no matter what's going on, because from where I look at it, I don't see nobody rallying. Why I got to be the only one trying to go out there and get that popping?
Bro, I promise you, I said the same thing with the Colin Kaepernick shit. Why can't we? Like, think of the change that would come about.
It's lonely.
Think of the change that would come about
it's lonely. It's a lonely
motherfuckers really boycotted. No, not only am I boycotting going to the NFL games to stop that money from circulating, not getting that black dollar or whoever else is behind the movement, but any place of business that sells NFL merchandise, I'm not fooling with you. Any place of business, like we going out there, we going to Buffalo Wild Wings, y'all playing the game, we're not gonna go there. Like, just on down the line, like, we not finna do that shit. I did it. I'm not excluding myself. I did that shit for about 10 days, maybe 10 days. roughly. After 11 days. But like, I'm guilty too. But like, we not finna stop this shit
because that's because you don't have the support. I think if you have more support.
On me.
Yeah, that's
exactly what you
saying.
saying.
Take the black dollar.
Yeah.
Take it back to the hood.
Yeah.
Exactly.
On me. But I'm saying what you saying too as well is like, damn, I'm doing this and I'm calling the homies like, damn, what you doing? Shit, I'm watching the Cowboys game. I'm like, damn, where y'all at? I'm like, woo, we watching the Cowboys. Well, that don't.
But honestly, it's not.
That seems like something I want to do too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it.
In this room right now, all of us will go stand on the front line right now. But it could be 5 other people that's not where we are mentally about the issues that's going on. which leaves us not having enough.
But you got to start
numbers.
somewhere.
Right.
That's years and years and years of separation.
You have to be willing to step out there.
You got to start
and
somewhere.
be by yourself and say, you know what?
Exactly.
I'm running so we're all artists in Oklahoma. This is a very great comparison. This is a word. We're all artists, and we're stepping out saying, I believe in my dream to be bigger than my block, my street, my city, my state, to the world. We're standing out there front line by ourselves, hoping somebody joins you. At the same time, what you have to do is you have to be consistent enough and patient enough to understand that I have to be out here showing them the way regardless. Where they go, like as men, especially at this era of age, like whether the bills are tough or they're hard, I gotta pay them. That's no option. And then I want to be a rapper. I got to pay for studio time. I got to pay for X, Y, and Z. I got to boss up. So no matter if my kids think I'm going to be a YouTube star or whether my wife believe I'm going to be a rap star, whether my homies who've been around me know me, they don't see me as a rap star because I'm the homie.
Right.
And these people that know me all my life will look at you like you regular. But you're like, wait, I got a message. I got something to say. I got some words to put together that I hope that y'all hear. They're not going to hear it the first 100 times, unfortunately. So what do you do in that 101? You got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep saying, you know what? This is Mocha T. Well, this is our 41st podcast. I don't care if you ain't been watching since 1 through 40. Thank you for joining 41st. Let's get this shit. Ride with me on here.
Exactly.
And
That's what's up on individuality. That's what's up on individuality. I feel that on individuality.
Because the first people you expect, and that's how I'm starting to think, and this is flipping me with Now and Never, that's the album plug. Anywho, with the expectations of life, you think people that know you all your life is going to be the first ones to support you. And you're like, hey, y'all, look what I'm doing. They're like, okay, you're regular. I mean, not even that. We're living our lives like, I got kids, my homies got kids, they got stuff they got to do, they got to go to work. They're not thinking top of mind, my partner's about to be a rap star, he can put us in a better position. That's just not how we're conditioned. It's self
gratification.
No, it's not even that I'm losing my words.
Motivated.
No, it's preservation, self-preservation.
Yeah.
Like, I got to take care of my homie's rap career ain't paying my bills today. So
Well,
I'm not
talking
sharing.
about self-preservation for since the fucking plantation,
right?
But our community specifically has been self-preservation.
Sacrifice.
But check the dig this. That's why I said, man, that shit gotta die out. Like, it really does have to die out. That mindset is not gonna change.
How can we kill it?
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, but you have 400 years. I know y'all have read, or hopefully y'all read, what was it, How to Make a Slave. How to Make a Slave. Any book? Okay. Well, read How to Make a Slave. Okay. It's by Willie Lynch, I believe. Excuse me if I'm saying. How to Make a Slave. It's years and years and years and years. It's just a short of what it is.
It's not physical. It's not.
What he did, he had
mental.
in the British islands, he had slaves, and they were good slaves. And the people over in America, their slaves was revolting. They was being rebellious. It was like, how do you have your slaves be good? Well, let me tell you how to make a slave. He separated father from family. Does that have any? You see the black man separate this? Well, absolutely. He said. He said. And matter of fact, I skipped a part. He said, "I'll show you how to make a slave, but I'll show you how." Your slaves will be slaves, generations and generations to come. So that's that mindset, that self-preservation. If you want a plantation, I mean, it's kill or be killed. Like, I'm trying to find a way for me to survive. And that's kind of how we have the mind state right now. We trying to figure out how we survive. So until that mindset, that's the crab in the barrel bucket. Like, fuck that nigga. You take shit. It's about me. I'm trying to get it.
But this is the crazy part about it. We can talk about that till we blue in the face, and we gonna do it.
Exactly.
And we gonna do it. Like I can watch my man, and he rap, and I rap, and he could be one level away from getting to the level where we need to be. I won't push him. And my platform colliding with his platform may take him to the next level, but I don't push him because I'm trying to get
myself.
And we can act like that's not what we do.
It's what we do.
But it's what
That's
we
a
do.
different. That is, but it isn't, because that is a difference between a black thing. A black thing and an actual Oklahoma thing. If you want to go into
that right there.
So check me out, because Houston, bro. Hear me out. Hear me out. Houston supported their artists. Those niggas was going gold selling in Houston. Now, don't get me wrong. I know the demographics is a little bit different, and you have more people in there, so it'll be a little bit easier to go gold just in Houston with Lil Flip, Chameleon. But they still supported that music and their people.
You know what though? The funny part.
Atlanta support their
it's
people.
True, but those it's artists who. There's no artist who has broke through that because you have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure Outkast
play Oklahoma shit.
I'm sure Outkast or Scarface went through the same things that an Oklahoma cat is going through 25 to 30 years later. That's the funny part about Oklahoma is where we're behind. It had to be one to break through. Houston wasn't so loving when it was just Ghetto Boys or just UGK. Houston was not. But the thing is, you have to break through that level. I can't speak of it
because I don't know.
At the aftermath.
I feel you, but I don't know Houston back in the early 90s and the late 80s. I don't know if they supported it. I would like to say that shit, nigga. It seemed like they've been supporting UGK and Scarface from the get-go, and when Flip come out, and even in Dallas when DSR come out, like that shit is the rave. Like they latch on to shit. They latch on to their own homegrown shit.
Everybody had a grind.
Oklahoma,
I feel you.
Oklahoma, we don't do that. We don't do that.
We don't. But nobody has.
We don't appreciate music.
Once again, we got. So it's a balance. You look at the people and the lack of support. But if you ain't been authentic, if you ain't been real, if we ain't known you from Oklahoma City from '98 through 2008. We're going to look at you questionable. We're going to. So it's a balance. Like you can't just pop up in 2020 and say I'm cool. And Oklahoma's not going to let that fly. And then we're one of those cities.
Cool.
No. We don't support. Like our age bracket is not going to get out. If I have a show tomorrow, our age bracket is not getting out.
I'm going to tell you what I think the difference is, because I've been in different cities and I see the support from different cities. I think that the African American population in Oklahoma is not a very strong population. We are very present. We are depending on. I mean, I'm not saying strong. It's enough, but people just don't support. That's what I'm saying. It's not strong as in community wise.
Because we all know each other.
Same thing, because you have to understand that Oklahoma is not that old. We're not as old as in Atlanta. We're not as old as in LA. We're not as old as in New York. So the culture, like we don't have culture. That's the main.
And how did that happen? So I'm a house guy. Like I remember y'all from previews. If you from Oklahoma, you know previews. I remember y'all from basketball games or things of that nature. So how did this happen?
That ain't
Tell me what's
the signature Oklahoma dish?
Country.
No, signature Oklahoma dish. We go to food, because I'm a foodie and I love food. I love to eat. What's the signature Oklahoma dish?
Oklahoma dish?
We don't have one.
I can't really say that.
But the reason why you can't is because we don't have it.
No.
We ain't got it. You can go to LA, you can go to Atlanta, you can go to Louisiana with the Louisiana Purchase coming over from the French, right? So you have a strong French, or from France, you have a culture that is why you get the jazz out there. You know what I mean?
You have
it's
culture.
a culture. Miami, you get the culture of the Cubans, the Haitians mixed in together.
Yes.
It is a culture which brings people together. Culture brings people together, just like hip hop. It's hip hop. It's a hip hop culture. Hip hop culture brought us together. We don't have one for our people.
We don't.
And how did that happen?
We don't really identify.
My thing is, how did that happen?
We don't identify.
What do you mean for our people?
Up here right now, it's popping. They got the culture for them. We don't have that.
Yeah.
But how did that happen?
Honestly, bro, we are not responsible for that because the culture should have been set before you, and I should have been born. I mean, we were supposed to walk into the culture at this point.
That's what I want to know. How do we change it?
And this is how you change it.
We have this conversation. I have
how we got here. How do we get from here?
About the mindset of Oklahoma, but what are we going to do about it?
How can we change that? How can we support more? That's like him. I went to his listening party. I bought a T-shirt because I'm trying to show support. I'm trying to change within me, but it takes more than just me to do it.
So I think one of the things is, and that's a great point. When you do it, you gotta act like it's the world's best invention since sliced bread. Like, for me to say that my album listening party was dope, which it was, it's cool. Like, you supposed to say that. But then when somebody that was done it would say, dang, my man put on a listening party and he did X, Y, and Z, and this was cool, and this was cool. Then everybody else like, let me tune in. But what we don't do is we experience these adventures and we don't share.
That's true.
And if we do share, it's individuals. How do we get the collective? Like, my whole mantra is all I need is 50 real ones.
That's it.
Like, all I need is 50. And I'm not saying 50 real ones on a second support basis, like to share me one time. Like, people think, I shared you one time, that's great.
Exactly.
No, share me every time you see me share.
Yeah.
Every time I do it. Every time you see Mocha T, post that shit.
That's fun.
Right.
And we don't get that part of it. Like, we think support is, one time. Like, I need support every day. Like, I'm out here on the edge.
It should be
I'm
easy.
living balance. I mean, it should be.
Easy.
But it's just
it should
like-
be easy for me and you to share.
But that's
Right.
just
We in
like,
the same
Like,
shoes.
and I make this comparison, and to go as deep as you went and you led me here, like even like my homegirl was slain or slandered in the news this week, and on Facebook, in the court of Facebook, slandered. She was out before the news story hit at 10 o'clock. Like, I'm on the phone with her before 10 o'clock, and they talking bad about her, and I'm not gonna get into the particulars.
They did.
And I had people sharing it as of last night, and I'm like, wait, this ain't even what it is. And they was like, I'm just sharing it because it was out there. Why you don't share more music like that?
They share the negative.
Like,
They share the
and
negative.
that's the
And that's
part
just
we.
people.
And
That's
it's
exactly
hard
that's
for
people.
those who
Gonna
are
latch on to
inside to
negativity.
attack that.
Exactly.
But we need those who are supportive or support. Those support we need. We need them to be on the front line fighting for us when we're talking about why you're not supporting what's going on in our city. But you'll share this news story about this mother who's not being a mother. Wait, you quick to do that, but you won't share an entrepreneur going to a school.
It still goes
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the part we have to attack. Like, it's easy to talk about our culture, but our culture is to share what's negative. Our culture is to share even about our own self.
We like what you mean. We like negative. I mean,
and then we get mad when they look at us in a negative way.
When it come to your house.
Yeah.
When it come to your house.
Our culture is not to allow another black man to be better than you here.
And that's crazy.
Like, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
Like, because the minute another nigga see you done step forward and
He pulling you back.
Oh no, we not gonna show him. We not rocking him like that. Oh, see, you got his little clothesline. We not buying none of that. You feel me? They gonna scroll right up past you.
That goes back to the mentality. That goes back to the mentality.
And at the same time, it's kind of like, damn, should I stop letting people know what I'm doing?
But check this out, bro. Like, it's been years and years and years and years of us put up that Django shit. Yeah, it was a nice movie and it was a good movie. But like Django, when they had the motherfuckers fighting against each other, like black man against black man, like that's what we do. That's been 400 and some odd years.
But I thought we were smarter.
Nah, but
I thought we were better.
Hold on, check me out.
We were as kids.
Yeah, we
see
are.
the problem.
But we allow it.
No.
It's
I got
trained.
you. I got
It's
you.
trained.
We
Yeah.
are the strongest. We are the smartest. But the minute there's a you, me, one of these ladies, the minute you become the new Oprah, you a threat.
Right.
The minute you become the new Nipsey of the hood, you are a threat. So their goal is to take her
I'm just
out.
talking about the absolute collection of it and the way the mind state changes. Like, we can talk all we want, but it's programming, and you have to deprogram.
How do you change the programming?
It has to be years and years
And it has to
years
be
It's like
and years
consistency.
and years
It's like-
and after
Has
that years
consistency
of
over
deprogramming.
generation.
Man, even with
this
your
is
kids,
what
you tell your kids,
Right.
clean up your room, clean up your room.
Every
clean up your
day.
room. Tell them
That's
every day
annoying.
for years and years and years and years and years.
So
And now they're older.
but you was annoying, though.
Now they clean their
Got the
room up,
handle.
and it's
I'm
just
finna go
second
home right
nature.
now and
You
flex.
can't deprogram that. You know what I mean? And you
that's
can
a
even
lot.
you can even go deeper with that with
Right.
like Christianity or Islam. People try to
Hammer it
convert.
home.
People try to convert that. Years of saying that God is real and Jesus rose from the dead? I mean, I don't know who
bet.
believes that in here, but
It's consistency.
do you believe that? Does anybody you believe
Yeah,
that? So
yeah.
if somebody came in here and said that he didn't do that, what would you say to them? Like, no, that's like you talking bullshit. Like,
I would
this is
feel
what
that,
happened.
yes.
You know what I'm
I would
saying?
feel that.
This is what happened. So you can equate that to the mind state that we have and the shit that we do as the black community. It's been and we're not even talking about 25 years, 32 years. 40 years.
Right
We're talking
now.
about, we're talking about years and years of programming somebody to be a certain way. It ain't going to be no just talking right now. That shit has to be
A consistency.
We're not going to see it.
Over here, yeah.
We're not going to see it.
I
And
mean,
that's just the harsh
And
reality.
we
We're
can't
not
work
going to
that.
see it.
And you get
I got
messed
a
up
question
because
for
you
you.
want to see it.
Can you?
No, 100%.
Can you
Absolutely.
actually live your life always correcting somebody who don't have the mindset that you have?
Say it again.
Can you live the rest of your life always finding another adult that thinks outside of you? Like always trying to get them to the point. Man, we got to get this together. This is what
No,
we
that's
got to do.
annoying and frustrating.
But guess
I
what?
need some like-minded.
But guess what?
Thank you. Because that, bro, I can live
It's
my
but
life.
guess what?
Yeah.
But guess what?
I'm not doing that. You should be already
in order
where I'm
to
at.
change perspective, because we go back to the question. In order to change perspective, we have to do it that way, and we have to teach our kids to do it that way.
You have to
And
prove
because
it
when I say,
yourself. You can't just talk it.
realistically, and it was my mom who realistically brought me to that realization, because I didn't think about it, because we get so upset when situations
wrapped
like
up.
that happen. And she said, Capri, the Civil War was just in the 50s. Your grandmother was a teenager. So you go to my great-grandmother who's no longer alive,
They couldn't even vote.
who couldn't even vote. My grandmother didn't even have rights.
That was like 1938.
Civil rights.
My grandmother
I'm probably
had
wrong.
0 rights.
None.
Then you go above my great-grandmother to my great-great-grandmother, who didn't have no rights.
Yeah.
Who couldn't date a white man, white woman, white nothing, could have to drink out of
Couldn't own a
pissy
business.
water
Yeah, all
and
that.
some more. So we talking these people are dead. And my grandmother, who's still alive, was still oppressed. Who my mother was born in the middle of the civil rights movement. Mm-hmm. And then we have me, who comes into this world with some privilege, because that's what it is.
Oh, man, it is, yeah.
We got a little bit of privilege. So
can
we
vote.
think,
But
we
we-
forget to think that we're not that far removed from those who didn't have
Yeah.
anything, who were riding on a damn bus, who was walking miles to get to work, who didn't have no Nintendo, no telephone, who probably couldn't only live, because my grandpa talks about how in Oklahoma, literally couldn't walk past 8th Street.
No, you couldn't move out your neighborhood. Then.
Couldn't move out his neighborhood, who the house that he lived in, the house that I privileged, grew up in
Right.
on the east side, was the house his mother worked in as a maid, my grandfather. And so the problem, I think, is we take our privilege and forget that we're only 2 generations from changing
And we
mindset.
forget we're privileged.
And we forget we're
And we
privileged.
forget to, like I'm saying, you have to.
That should be why we should unify.
It is, yeah.
And
But
I
I
ain't got
mean,
nothing else to say. I just
yeah.
feel like
I'm
for that
frontline
reason
every time
right
it's
there,
on.
that is the reason why we should unify. Right there.
I mean, yeah, we got to think about that. And so I think when we start talking about perspectives and things like that, in order to change perspective, you have to be realistic about how that perspective was developed, their experience, put the sweet on the shit. Before we start telling them their
Yeah.
perspective is wrong and what they
Put the
see
sweet
is
on the
wrong
shit.
and how they
Yeah.
feel is
And we gotta
wrong.
put.
And,
We have to have some. We have to
And
have
then
some
try-
length of work.
and-
Like, you can't just be in there for 6 months
and
until you
can't
get a
get tired
promotion.
and can't get tired of telling them their shit is wrong.
No, you have
Just
to be
like he
consistent.
said, how long can you live telling people they was wrong? Martin Luther King died telling people they were wrong.
That was his mission, though.
But it has to be your mission if at some point you want to see, and it may not be your babies who gonna see it,
Right.
but their babies, and you have to continue to ingrain that into them so that their babies can teach that, and so their babies are teaching that. Because if we get far enough down,
Yeah.
I may not see it,
Right.
but hopefully I can leave a legacy where my kids
Right.
down, generations from now,
Right.
are able to see that.
Gotcha.
Because we
Are
talk
you
about,
willing to do that though?
I am.
Are
I'm
you
willing
willing to
say-
sacrifice hard work for a lack of praise, a lack of recognition? Are you willing to be on the front line without nobody putting a camera or a tag on your name? Are you willing to do that? And that's not a collective. That's an individual thing. Are you willing to be on the front line without getting that publicity that people expect when they're at the front line? Like, you got to go through some things.
Okay,
like,
so,
if you want to be
so
really
when you
out here,
created Mocha T, how many times have I said, if we just get one listener?
that's it.
If that's all
But
we
you
get,
have to be willing to.
one
That's the
loyal.
thing.
One
You
loyal.
have
If
to
we
be
get one
willing
loyal,
to-
loyal,
I
listen,
feel
loyal.
you.
Everyone's gonna listen every week. I'm still gonna keep showing up whether y'all listen or don't
Rain,
listen.
sleet,
nonsense.
If I can help one person, if we helping one person, I'm okay with that.
And then what's yours?
I feel like
It's gonna be more than one now.
What's yours?
No, that's the same thing. I mean, long as we get one loyalist, I'm gonna continue. You know,
Give us one loyal listener today. And by one, we mean one for her, one for him, one for her, one for me,
Okay.
one for him, and one for her. And them over there, give us 10
Preferably
loyal
more.
listeners,
Preferably
and we
more.
good.
and we good, and we good.
I mean, and I thank y'all for this platform, man. But it's a great thing. Like, we always talking in our community.
That's it.
Who ready to put this work in? And that's the part. It's hard because you can't challenge people through social media, but that's the best way to get to people. And one of the things that I try to do, and it's really like my asshole way, and I'm giving y'all a secret because y'all allowed me to be here with y'all. Like, I will flex on y'all about everything I do. Like, I've been doing this for 13 years. And I ain't never took a picture. I ain't never wanted a news cap. I don't go to these schools to be looked at. Now I'm like, okay, look at me. I put a superhero cape on.
I seen that.
Yeah. And I put this on and be like, hey, I normally would do that for the kids, but not for social media or for anything. And you have to be willing to flex on people now with a balance of, let me inspire you. I'm not trying to flex on you by what I'm doing. I didn't do an album because I want to get rich. I got money. I'm good. And I can say that on camera. But what I do this for is to inspire the next person to chase a dream that seems impossible. And I don't think our kids see that enough. Like, we show our kids that we go to work for them, but they don't respect that enough. Mm-mm. Our kids need to see that I'm willing to go after whatever I think in my mind. That's the only way I can tell them you can be like Obama.
Funny you said that.
President. Let me give respect. Like President Obama, because that's the one thing President Obama brought to the game. He brought that back, and we didn't even ride that coattail well enough that you could be like, when you grew up, your parents said you could be president. You'd be like, no, I can't. Now I can go into my kid's face and say, you know what, you can be anything you want to be, even president of America.
You're gonna be in the books.
And it's like,
when we was in school,
this dumbass is in president now, but we had a real nigga in presidency.
But guess what?
But we had to show them, and that takes consistency. When you talk about even his inspiration, or all the inspiration from people, even go to Nipsey, because Nipsey's an easy one. You can point to Nipsey right now and say, everything Nipsey did, if you go back to 2010 when he was on XXL, freshman of the class, and I went and got that magazine from Outwells. No, I'm lying. I went and got it from Country Boys.
I got it from 7-Eleven.
I got mine from
Because he wasn't the only rapper on it at all.
Yeah, I got it from Country Boys the second week. I couldn't afford XXL had just went up to $4.95. I couldn't afford it. So I went the second week to get the Nipsey. And I've been a fan of Nipsey since Bullets Ain't Got No Name 2. And you talk about people like that, and you say, it's easy to compare them and say, you have to be willing to step out when nobody is riding up with you. 2017, 2018, they might start riding with you. But 2010, nobody riding with these type of people. So you have to be really consistent. And it's the marathon. And if we want to take anything from his legacy, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You got to be willing to just ride this shit out. And we're going to get to a point where as artists, as podcast owners, that the people that you thought wasn't going to respond or support or share what you're doing.
Come to a point.
And it's tough. Are you willing, when nobody is supporting, to keep going?
Exactly.
That's the key. Like if this podcast got 112 views and we walked away disappointed, are you gonna show up next week?
Yeah.
That's the part, and we have to be willing to do that, and then sit these kids down and educate to say, you know what, it ain't about the millions. If I touch one, if I got one new person to listen to my music, if I got one new person to listen to my music, if I got one new person to listen to the podcast every week, that's all that matters. Stay on your marathon. Stay consistent, because the instant gratification that this era looks for, that's not us. We're not a microwave culture. It's not a microwave thing. Like, everybody wants to do everything in the microwave, but nah, you gotta put that shit in the oven. Actually, you gotta season it. You gotta marinate that bitch.
So now that
when
you
I
say
put
that-
steak on, I don't cook steak that same day. Like, I'm gonna marinate it. I'm gonna put it in some head and country sauce.
I cook it
and
the
I'm-
same day.
and it ain't the same.
But
It ain't the same.
It ain't the same.
the dichotomy of it is we actually are a microwave culture. We actually are instant gratification.
But and that's not
type
gonna work
culture.
though.
You know
Long
what I mean?
term,
We see
have
niggas
been.
pop out of nowhere.
Right.
And we think what we think is what we
You know
feel.
what I'm saying?
Is what we
Studded up,
what we
diamonds
don't
up,
recognize. It's some of the
band
people
up,
that we see
you know what I mean?
popping out of places. You see them popping out,
It
and
looks
you
easy.
think
Yeah.
it didn't take them a
think they
while.
just popped out.
We
but
think they
been
just
doing
popped
it.
out, but they've been doing it for years.
They've been
That
doing it.
yes, true.
In
No,
other
but
cultures.
I'm a conspiracy
Here,
theorist.
it's
I
a
think
flash
that
in the
I
pan.
think that they're plants. Like sometimes you got plants. Like motherfuckers just
You gotta see.
pop out. No, motherfuckers
Oh.
just actually just popped out. Your Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Or your Blueface.
Got your
Your Blueface. Right. You can't tell me Blueface got
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
You can't tell me
but
that.
that's one
You
specific
can't
one
tell
that I
me
can
how
go
long
to. Like nigga,
No,
you wasn't no
no.
blood. You wasn't no
helped
blood.
yourself
You just
by
started being a blood, and then the record execs, the powers of
in
be
that era.
hip hop.
But how long did
Put
he
them in there.
last?
He used his platform.
No, and granted, like that instant gratification. I'm not saying that it lasts a long
That's
time.
that's the
That's the comparison.
Niggas don't give a fuck.
Versus
Like I don't give a shit. Let me get my
Microwave
15 minutes
versus
of fame,
Nipsey's
make these
oven,
bands and be out.
everybody else, I mean, a lot of those guys.
Of course, I like
Microwave.
Nipsey's way better.
Even when
That's
you,
100%.
Even when you talk about, because Nipsey's the way. When you talk about our YG, or when you talk about
A
artists who
T.I.
have came, well, even T.I., you could talk about his, for our era, T.I. is very well. Because wasn't nobody listening to Rubber Band Mans.
I would.
You know what I'm saying?
I was.
I won't say nobody.
I was.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
That was one of my favorite artists at
I'm
one
serious.
time. You know
I'm
what I mean?
serious.
Still is.
Yeah,
No, no.
well, yeah.
He been slipping. He still is.
Even I'm T.I.'s a bad comparison. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I still ain't forgave myself. I still ain't forgave
Yeah.
myself.
When I
If you listen to
listen
T.I.,
to
you know that. There's a song
Yeah.
on there, I still ain't forgave myself, back from 99, like before T.I. came out with all the hits. But most of the people who've come out lately, yeah, they're flat. It seems flash in the pan for us. But they had to grind in their city.
Yes.
Oklahoma doesn't respect the grind like that.
Man, Nipsey
And we
said
just-
something on
you
the
just
track
have to show 'em.
In my, yeah, I wish I can get it. It's talking about, but basically the premise of it, he was saying, am I glorifying this lifestyle to these kids? Because basically, he doesn't know if they're gonna get it. Are you gonna
Yeah, exactly.
take?
And
Are you
that's the
gonna take
balance.
what I'm doing right now? Are you gonna take
That's
it
the
for
balance. Or what
the struggle
you
part of
respect
it
the game,
and
banging on
using
this.
it? You know what I'm saying for a good. Interrupting the whole time. It's a squeaky door and everything. He tried to be discreet and shit. Still behind it.
He could never sneak in
Sound like
the
a
house.
haunted house in this motherfucker when this nigga come in.
But they're waiting on you.
But back to the point, like, is he actually glorifying it? And he had that struggle in his mind. You know what I'm saying? The shit that I'm putting out, the shit that I'm promoting, praise and you know what I'm saying? Praise is 6-0. Praise in neighborhood.
That was a good question.
You know what I mean?
To ask himself, but that was his way of life.
That was his reality, but he still has the question, and it says like, damn, because he knows. Like, I can go watch. Back in the day, you go watch a Terminator movie. Like, damn, I don't want to kill nobody after I see Terminator. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to kill nobody after I see Boys in the Hood in society. But other niggas like that get him.
That get him
with
in.
him. That get him.
But
in.
even with, like, if you want to compare it, like with Nipsey, what he was talking about, that was a yin and yang. Like even his big homies were saying, "Do you really want to put 6-0 on the map like that?"
Yeah,
his homies were saying that in the beginning when the Bullets ain't got no names in the Crenshaw video. Like they didn't really plan on
Honestly,
being
yeah,
Crenshaw Blue and Gold, and Marathon Clothing Line wasn't even planned from the Crenshaw video.
Yeah.
But what it was Nipsey was like, I want to put it on like this so that the kids know that I came from this.
Yeah.
This is what so Nipsey's foresight wasn't so much of promoting my lifestyle. Like, I'm a certified G out here, or I'm certified in these streets. It was more so of, look what I made it through. Let's take it here.
But dig this.
We're gonna take it.
It is what you get out of it, nigga. You out here, take your chances, and then if you make it, then turn it around. Like, is that what you got out of it? Because that's what you see. That's what you see. But that's what you see out of everything. You see Jay 92, 94 bricks. I forget, it loses me, but 92 bricks. I sold the 92 bricks. You see the Rick Rosses, you see the Jeezys, you see the Nipseys, you see all these niggas. Like, this is what I did. I hustled my way. You know what I'm saying, from the streets to the corporate. Okay, so what you saying is like, damn, keep doing what you're doing.
It's not right.
Keep doing what you're doing. But I mean, that's but it goes back to
never let them do it.
That is their reality.
Never let them do it. It's our job as the OGs in 2019 to say to a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 20-year-old, you don't need to do that. Like, even if you don't want to go to school, bang out this trade. Bang out this hustle. If you want to do graphic designs, start at the bottom. If you want to do camera discography or videography, start at the bottom. Be willing. That's the part that I think, like, we interpret the end of the hustle. That, like, in the 90s, you had to hustle a different way. In 2009, you had to hustle a different way. In 2014, you had to hustle a different way. But in 2019, you don't need to do that. You don't need, young man, you don't need to go buy 2 ounces and see if you can flip it.
Have you ever hustled?
Dante, you don't ask people.
Well, okay.
Just because
Well, I'm just saying. I don't know what you was involved in, but I'm just saying. You saying you could talk to the kids.
Ask him, has he had a struggle or where he came from? You can't ask me for that.
Hustle.
I'm still hustling. He hustling. He's selling these.
I'm getting bread.
I'm just saying that was so dressed. It's however you want to interpret that. What I'm saying is, have you ever hustled and have the OGs talk? When the OGs talk to you during your hustle time, did it work for you, or did you have to learn your own?
That's what I'm getting at
too
as well.
And that's a great question.
How you gonna tell it? How you gonna tell a nigga that's going? You out of it. You out of it. That's why Nick Cannon. They got Nick Cannon for once. Like, man, y'all don't need no money. Black people always talking about this. Woo, woo, woo. We need this. We need this. All we need is love. Like, no. Okay, wait a minute.
So
you're rich,
right? You can't tell.
How are you gonna tell? And even though Nick Cannon been from it too, but he's out of it. Now he's on the outside looking in. Yeah, I've been through it, but this is the end of it. You know what I mean? How you gonna tell a nigga that's in it, tell me not to hustle? You know what I mean?
I think what happens,
because he knows,
and I think what happens is your perspective begins to evolve.
No,
100%.
As you move out of situations and as you experience different parts
I
of
don't
life,
live in the hood.
You can
but I'm from the east side.
Right, your perspective, but not only that,
changes.
but then you also, like he was saying, Nipsey was starting to ask that question: am I glorifying this? Because what can happen, but what also happens is as your perspective matures and as you grow and as you evolve, if you're truly evolving as a human being, not saying that everybody's not or whatever, but if you're truly evolving in your calling and what your purpose is, because I feel like that might have been his purpose. I really truly feel like that for him. But when you're truly evolving in your purpose, you are able to look at your perspective and say, maybe my perspective is wrong. So maybe the way I came out of this...
Interpretation, what I started with.
Maybe I came out of this thinking I should tell everybody where I came from. And now I'm on the other side of things, and maybe I'm glorifying where I came from and what and glorifying that might not be good for generations behind me.
Right. And so let me go ahead.
Honestly, I think when he came out, he wanted to tell a story. Period. I'm gonna go talk like artists for a minute. Okay, when you first started writing your music, I don't know what place it came from, but my music came from an angry place. Right now, like everything I write about is hurt. I ain't evolved from that yet. You feel me? Yeah. But it was good for its time because if he wouldn't have wrote about it, we wouldn't have knew.
You got to go through it.
You have to put that.
You have to go through it. So let me touch on
that. And another time, if you're looking at where he coming from. You know the whoops was hot then.
It's easy to talk about Nipsey what he did early. So what Nipsey did early, and even so not what he just rapped about. If you watch a Nipsey interview, Nipsey was where he died when he started. Like, Nipsey didn't get a chance to evolve totally because Nipsey was talking all of this in 2010 when he was still a dude wearing a baggy tank top on 150 pounds. And if you listen to Nipsey, he was talking about currency and ownership and things of that nature. He didn't get to evolve to where I owned everything, where he was headed. But what you talk about for us even, like when you talk about where does that place of inspiration come from? It usually comes from a place of pain.
That street
it
life
doesn't
was
usually
his
come from a place
inspiration.
of success. It comes from a place of pain.
Right.
And what our responsibility is, and going back to what our big homies taught us, at least for me, I was fortunate enough to have big homies who were very good to me. And I have a line on my album, plug, where it says, my big homies was big homies. Young boy, get your money, but don't be no crash dummy.
On me, I heard that.
And basically, a lot of us heard that as whereas you have to figure out how to get your money without being the guinea pig or the crash dummy. Mm-hmm. Where in the guinea pig and the crash dummy could be the homie in the trap, the homie that's on the block, or the one that's really hot-headed and reacts off of emotions. My big homies taught me that it wasn't just about money, it was about principles and loyalty. So to circle around back to your question, I think where we got lost is our big homies got lost in the money. Our big homies got lost in crack, to speak frankly. Our big homies got lost in that epidemic. And what that led us to think is you got to get money. And what that led is us to mislead the following generations to just get money. So it's easy to only worry about money, not your community, not building the black dollar. Who cares about a black dollar if I'm broke? Nobody cares. I don't care about a black dollar. I'm broke. Yeah. Like I ain't got a black dollar. So we never mastermind getting our own to get to the level of a Chinese or Asian or any other ethnicity. We never got our own.
Low key, we did though.
No,
like in Tulsa,
we canceled each other out.
I mean, you look at Tulsa.
We did. Black Wall
what
Street
happened?
did.
And that go, man, that's a full circle all the way back around.
But let me
and nobody tried to recreate
it. Niggas bombed us.
7 years later,
What are you going to do? You still going to march? You still
I was
going
going to say, what we did is we allowed them, they came in bonded, and we didn't rebuild it. And what happens is,
Black Wall
when
Street
you allow
was
people to discourage you like that,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
If you want to talk what we at with dates, Black Wall Street was 1919.
That's what it goes back to. We know what you know what to do,
and we still
have yet to recreate it.
And that's on us.
The powers that be, like the powers that be, don't want that. The powers that be don't want that.
I am the power.
That happen
I am the power. My faith is stronger than that white man.
Absolutely. So if the faith was stronger than the white, so why didn't they rebuild it? Why didn't they rebuild Black Wall Street?
Fear.
100%. Absolutely. So we're gonna march.
Because we didn't want to. That person didn't want to step out to the front line to be the black person in the neighborhood and say, "I'm the millionaire and I want more millionaires." Instead, he moved out the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Instead, he moved. That millionaire moved out the neighborhood. Instead of saying, "I want more millionaires," he moved out. And that's what we got lost.
We can go all day on this.
Right. And it goes deep. It's very hard.
It's a very deep conversation.
But the whole thing is cute. It's cute to have a conversation. But what do we do? What do you do when you leave here? When you leave, like this building right here on Main Street in Oklahoma?
Utilize
what do you
your platform
do to contribute to your community? What do you do to communicate to the next generation? It doesn't, like, we're great at pointing out the problem. Like, we're great at that. Like, we love talking about the problem.
Okay, so then,
let's work.
So then let's walk into platforms.
I know, let's do it.
Let's walk into platforms.
Yes.
So one of my biggest things is I'm a social worker. I don't really like the social work I do. But when we started the podcast, I said, I want us to get to a level where we're making money. This is my goal. So that I can take that money and put it into my platform. Yeah. And my platform is kids. And I want to work with kids. I want to be able to dig into our community and do things in our community that benefits the kids so that I can leave something behind as a legacy. What's your platform?
I don't have no platform as far as...
You have a music platform?
Oh, that's it.
Well, okay, so talk about your music platform.
Well, I got a single out right now. In My Feelings, and
you gotta tell them who's talking.
I'm Vokalgold, by the way. But it's a single out right now, and that's a platform that I'm pushing in myself and my music. It's on all major streams, and just trying to get a whole album together. Anything that I do cover shows to make money to put towards my studio time, to purchase a beat. You know what I'm saying? To pay for that photo shoot. So that definitely is my platform. My band is another extension of my platform. Vokalgold and the Gold Experience Band. You know, book us.
Bam.
You feel me? But other than that, yeah, I'm just pushing my music right now. 2 more singles coming out in July. One called Damaged and one called From the Mud. In My Feelings was really inspired by a past relationship that I was in with somebody, and it didn't work out. So I stabbed out. And so I wrote a song about her, and I'm trying to get that out there. Hopefully that go #1, so she can be salty.
On me, that's one of the leading motivations of great artwork from a male is heartbroken.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, especially when you want supporting. You feel me? Like, you want supporting the mission, so I had to leave you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was trying to sing in the closet. She wasn't supporting the mission. So, but that's one joint that's out right now.
Can't wait to start on that motherfucker that wasn't fucking with him.
Oh yeah, I hold grudges.
Yeah, I hold
and then
but I still fuck with you though, even though my grudge, I'm still fuck.
Oh yeah, I gotta forgive because God's law. That was my status. You feel me? But Damage is another joint that's gonna be out, and that song is basically about after leaving this particular woman, because In My Feelings and Damage is a sequel, 2-song video short movie.
Walkway damage.
I was damaged after I left her out, but I needed stimulation, validation. I needed to feel a certain things from a woman, so I got it from a whole bunch of women. You feel me? To restore who I was, because she took everything away from me. You know what I'm saying? But I found a chick I wanted to be with. You feel me? And then by the time I was ready to do it, she had gone because I messed up so much. I had to sit down as a man and be like, damn, I'm really messed up behind one woman, and I've hurt so many other, and now I can't get this one because I messed up. So it was kind of me going to her, letting her know, hey, I apologize. I was a damaged man, and I want you to understand that. No matter if you want to be with me or not, I owe you this apology. You feel me? And that's going to be out in July. And From the Mud is basically about my life, my hard struggles. Me growing up with my pops, him raising me and my brothers by himself. Doing the best he can with one income, just talking about issues with my mom, you know, just hard strife stuff, you know, regular stuff like you rap about, you know what I'm saying? And on that particular song, I'm singing about it, you feel me? Just a different kind of way. So, you know, From the Mud, Damage, In My Feelings, y'all keep looking for that. Like I said, I got a live band.
Bam.
You can definitely come check us out. We'll be at the Tree, definitely gonna be at Glass this summer, so that's about it for me, you know, as far as what I do and invest in my platform. You feel me?
Right. Dante, platform.
I know I want to hear Louis.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let them.
Are you gonna steal mine?
No, I was gonna say yeah.
I just want to hear y'all. We just
No,
want to hear
I
what
wanna
you
hear about
have.
y'all.
Man, that's set up. Platforms, man. I'm just out here. Inspiration, motivation, dedication. That's all what we do. I got an album out now. Never. It's available on all platforms. Also got them hard copies. Still got that movement. Made it out the hood. It's just the mindset of making it out the hood, but we still in it, and that's the hook. We made it out the hood, but we still in it. Took some losses in this game, but we still winning. And that's just the lifestyle we live. That's the lifestyle we came from. Made it out the hood is like the mantra of my album. It's like it's almost, if I had to put it in a perspective of people to understand, it's almost like Ghost and James St. Patrick. And I won't put it on that level and say, oh, I'm cinematic and dramatic like Ghost, but when you make it from being a individual in the streets to having to survive in corporate America, meet and do business with these white folks. Sorry, I didn't mean white folks. Y'all watching. I love y'all. Y'all pay me very well. Y'all keep me very informed. So, let me back on that. I don't mean white. I mean by white folks. I mean those with a lot of money.
Reverse.
Salute.
He had to go back. Like,
No, but yeah, of course, because I always have to make sure, and that's the funny part about me doing music at this stature in my life is I have a lot of corporate I won't say sponsors because I'm a boss, certified, but I would say people who
support
intertwine in my life that are anywho. That's made out the hood. I'm not for to give me an indictment on this. So let's live good, be blessed. No, I'm not. No, made out the hood. Now Never's the album. Now Never's the mindset. Being a grown up with children, being a man with a family, being a man that actually is in corporate America, is thriving, not just surviving, is what the mindset of Now Never. I didn't want to drop an album or never drop an album and be thinking, I regret never doing music in Oklahoma because it's a very moving target. It's a dream that most people don't believe in automatically. So I had to go out here and do some things to prove that not only the mindset and the movement of Now Never and Made Out the Hood was facts, but I had to actually live it and kind of be consistent as we talked about earlier. Anywho, the album is available on any platform. I got CDs. And the music is about inspiring, inspiring. I'm actually really, they got me on these cups, so I'm talking stupid. Let me get back up. Get my posture right. The music is about inspiring the next generation, inspiring everybody. It's Now Never. Go out here, man, grind, write your goals down. Go knock them goals out. And if you're anything like me, celebrate every single goal that you accomplish. Don't just wait for the big goals. Set small goals, 10 days, 14 days, 30 days without alcohol, and then on 31 days, drink up. Whatever you do.
How many days you in?
All about, man.
Three.
That's a blessing, man. That's tough.
But I've been out all weekend.
Because they cups is dry. Like, they ain't got no ice in their cups or nothing. We drinking. And she sat here and kept her cool. Bro kept his cool. Who knows what's in that cup? Anywho, Made Out the Hood, L-1-3. And a couple of things that I try to inspire about my music is, like, I really came from the hood. Like, I really came from meek beginnings, put it like that. And I was afforded some privileges, even as a youngster, that a person that was broke shouldn't have been afforded. And now that I'm in a position to put other people on, it's only right that I give them a position of power. And that's the only thing I'm going to press upon my people is, let's get these positions of power. It's easy to talk about getting money. It's easy to talk about what you do. But if you ain't got no power, you ain't really saying much to me. Like, respect, we earned that. We did that in the 80s, the 90s, in the early 2000s. 2019, respect ain't really honored. It's about money and it's about power. So get both of those. There's a lot of ways to get those. And, man, I'm just out here trying to touch these kids. I'm trying to reach them early. I'm trying to get out here and talk to these kids at these elementaries. I show them that it's more than rap. Like, I go to work every single day. I put in more hours than anybody else. And at the same time, I'm a dedicated husband and father. How do you balance all that? And they'll never understand that. Like, if you really, like, they'll never understand that. I'm not going to carry on about it. But it's hard to balance being everything to everybody. And as I said in my latest video, Losing Ain't an Option, please tune in. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. That's just really it. People want success but can't handle what it brings. L-1-3.
STEEVO?
What was the question?
I don't know if that was a question.
And furthermore,
however, you considering the light? Turn it on the lights.
Okay, so platform.
Platform.
Okay. Where I come from and what I want out of what I do. Of course, I mean, it's so cliche. Like everybody says, I want to inspire. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? You want to inspire.
I just said that. You said I'm cliche?
No. Because before he said it, I was like, yeah, okay, well, I want to inspire. But that's good, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's good, though, because you do want to inspire. And I commend you, like, for all the things that you said that you do. Absolutely. As far as, like, the music that I try to do, you never want to censor, like, what you say. I understand you don't want to censor what you say. But me, personally, I'll say bitch in my rhyme, right? Sometimes, when it's needed. But I've had, when I'm writing, and I could throw a bitch in there real quick. Come on. man.
You can always
Think a little bit.
bit.
Think a little bit more. Think a little bit more. Try to see. Try to say another word. Try to do something else. Try to come at it at a different angle to get your point across.
Use the English language.
Absolutely, and that's what I want to portray. That's what I want to bring out there. Like it don't gotta be like I'm not no trap artist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no rob a nigga artist. I'm not no. I hustle. We all hustle, but I'm not no selling brick. That type of artist. It's not the type of artist that I am, and I'm comfortable with that. You know. So I try to portray the truth in who I really am, and it's a lot of us out there that are like who I am. Like we just niggas. We like to talk to females. You know what I'm saying? We like to get money. We like to get some money. We like to do, and I never want to put somebody in a box and say regular shit. You know what I mean? Because it's not regular. It's not really regular shit, but just
RNS.
Yeah,
RNS.
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys said those who know it's RNS.
Absolutely.
Get your money, go home, take care of your family.
Absolutely. And I do a little extra shit to it.
And we always go.
And we always gonna do a little extra shit. Right. So like
he said, I didn't
say that's what I want to portray. I just want to portray me. As far as like the general platform right now, just getting to me. SoundCloud, I have a couple songs. Stormy Rose, Living Life. On SoundCloud.
Your music name?
OKSTEEVO.
OKSTEEVO.
Yeah, it's OKSTEEVO. And it's just like, OKSTEEVO. Like, especially when you hear them rhymes, you be
okay.
like, OKSTEEVO. All right.
Yeah. Oklahoma. It's OKSTEEVO.
Absolutely. Or if I'm getting on your nerves, you're like, OKSTEEVO.
Okay. Go home, Roger. Go home, Roger. That's kind of how I put it.
Absolutely. That's at OKSTEEVO. That's on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Them followers up, content. I love this platform. This is the platform. This is what does it when people latch on to it. You're giving us a platform. We need more like that so other people that's out there that wouldn't know anything about us as artists out here, and even y'all as, you know what I'm saying, black entrepreneurs doing it, giving us a platform to get our music out there too as well. I have a single coming out on an album, CL McCoy, one of the producers, has been doing it down here for a very, very long time. He used to be with Kevin Durant, Privilege as well, on his album called Your Edition. Have a single coming out that's going to be July the 19th. It's a little something for the ladies called I Like It Like That, because if you don't get the ladies, you don't get it. Man, you have to get the ladies involved. The ladies like your shit. The ladies like your shit. Niggas is gonna listen to it. Or whatever. Yeah, man. I'm just working on, and also working on my EP. Hopefully, be out by the summertime. But yeah, that's just what I want to do. I really want to inspire. I really want to make revenue off of what I know how to do. I know how to. Niggas know how to be a lawyer. Motherfuckers know how to be a doctor. You know how to be a chef. I know how to fucking rap. I know how to rap, and I know how to rap very, very well. So I want to do that and push that, and of course branch out into other things, bring my people up, and all together it's just one, you know what I'm saying, person at a time to do it. So that's my platform.
I want the revenue, but that's the only time I feel like I'm free.
Yeah.
We all want the revenue.
We all want the revenue. Absolutely.
But I mean,
if my full-time job could be waking up in the morning, going to the studio, and then I got 3 shows that day. Yeah.
We just said that.
Because my soul is invested in music.
100%. Yeah.
It runs through me. It ain't nothing pretending that I'm doing when I'm doing it. So, I mean, when you say revenue, I'm like, damn, I mean, I want the money, but damn, I love this shit. I don't give a fuck about the money sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's hard to handle because you want to be paid. Everybody want to be paid for their services.
You do.
You want to be paid for your services. You're not finna go in there and get no plastic surgeon to get you some a new ass or some new boobs, and it's just like, okay, well, I just like to do this.
But it's just the fact that you know my thing.
And they may like doing
I never want to do music just in it for the money. Like, I never want to do music with a person that's in it for the money.
Yeah, no, I feel
because at some point you're gonna fold on the passion.
If the money don't come fast enough.
Yeah, you're gonna fold. Like when you wait 3 months for your first check from BMI, or all your other, bro, you got to be patient.
That's cap.
In the midst, you got to keep working. I don't want no cat that just don't have the
You gotta be
love
willing to
for
grind when
music,
it ain't no
man.
money. Like,
Exactly.
you gotta be willing to boss up, put your own money, invest in yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I hope that nobody wanna sign me. Cause I want all that.
But if you don't,
I don't even want that temptation of somebody wanting to sign me. And that's just me speaking for me as an artist. Like, I know how to get them pressed up. I know how to get them to the street. I know how to start a movement. I know how to get somebody who wants to put the t-shirt together and put my platform on the t-shirt. I know how to do that. So I don't want nobody, like, that's one thing that I will take from Nipsey, that I took from Nipsey a long time ago. Like, from the whole $100 CDs.
I took it from
It's
God.
like, I don't need nobody to invest in me.
Right.
Like, that's the one thing I need people to understand. It's like, I could care less who invests in me,
It's funny
but I
you
would
say
love
that.
for you to support me.
Right.
Like I'm not out here like I need a manager, I need a business partner or anything. I go to, as we were talking about earlier, I go to work and I get money. I earn my money, and that's just not for my household. That's also for my hustle, because I never wanted to be the guy on the block that got fronted. Like, if you got fronted, you were always hustling from behind. To me, like, if I went out there and bought my own 9-piece, like, everything I make from that, I owe nobody. But what I hated was another man calling me to ask if I got his money.
Oh, me.
And I learned that early. And I had that. I'm not going to act like I just bought stuff from the beginning. But I've had people call me and say, do you got my money? I don't like calling people to ask if they got my money. And I don't like nobody else calling me to ask if I got their money. So as a boss, or not even as a boss in the physical, mentally, you got to be willing to invest in yourself to say, you know what? I take $20, $40, $80 out of my check that I made. I'm going to put this in an account. I'm going to do this for 6 months. And then I have this. I'm going to move. What is...
No, his money's about to fall out.
I'm not going to take
Money
it.
falling
I
out.
got my own. We're talking about this money. And you want to take this money on camera. You talking about me.
Yeah, money falling out everywhere.
You just be nosy. I wasn't even talking to you.
Joy Gladstone. Hey, they talk about how old am I? I'm Joy Gladstone. Cut it out.
Yeah.
Type of stuff. That's how old I am. Anywho, if you don't know Full House, catch up.
I do.
That's the mindset. Anywho, what I'm saying is, you have to be willing to invest in yourself, whatever it is. Whether you start at $10, $20, put it in a jar, put it in a cup, and say, you know what, no matter if my friends support it, no matter if the other people support it, I'm going to put my money in, and long term, I'm going to get my investment back. You have to believe in yourself in that. Don't be a fool when you believe in yourself to not know that my potential, or like you said, rap is what I do. If rap is what you do, but you're not good at rap, don't invest. I'll tell you that on camera. It's cute, and it's a waste of time. Just go to work.
So are y'all looking at it on bigger scale?
But if rap,
trash
but you
ass
have to be
niggas.
willing.
But here's the thing.
No.
But on
You
the flip
do.
side, I feel you. But it is about investing in yourself.
It definitely
Even if you trash. Even if you
No,
trash,
even if-
you got
trash music
even
makes-
if you trash,
Trash music making nowadays.
I'm there.
I was
I
gonna
ain't
But
say,
I mean,
I ain't got a chance.
you
I ain't got a chance.
you gotta
You make
invest
trash
in
music.
yourself.
Da 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 da.
It's 10% talent.
You can make it. Yeah.
I think it's believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Like we've always said,
Either way,
putting things
either way.
out into the universe.
So even what I
Just
say,
like we,
don't listen to
who
me.
is it Jake, what's that boy's the Jacquez?
Jacquez.
King
They
R&B.
go hard though.
Baby,
that?
he believe in
Jacquez.
I
himself.
never heard a record and everybody like,
But
he
you know
sings,
what?
he don't sing.
Everybody gets
But he-
mad at him. He believe in himself
cre-
beyond
I
you.
I respect that.
But you
I
have
can
to believe
respect
it
that.
too. I don't care if I can
Facts.
sing and you don't think I can sing. He
Absolutely.
made it to where he made it because
Yeah.
he believed in his
He
own
was the
self.
king.
What you, and that goes back to perception. What you think don't pay my bills.
Exactly.
It's what I think. It's what I create in my mind, and then what I embark on you because I'm so consistent
And that energy.
in what I think.
And guess what?
And you know
and
what?
He
That's gonna
attracts it.
penetrate to those weak.
Yep.
And there's so many weak people out here. Sorry, weak people that are watching. But there's so many weak people out here that if you tell them long enough that I'm great, they're gonna believe you. Are you willing to stay in the ring long enough to say I'm great, long enough to take for these impressionable people to get to you. Like we were talking about with Oklahoma, about how long you ride a single or a couple records. You can ride a record in Oklahoma 8 to 10 to 12 months. And it be new to somebody every single day.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about, as long as somebody impact every podcast, if you embarked on that every single day, right? For 8 to 12 months. By that 12th month, when you really ready, because you wasn't ready in the beginning, you were actually trying to convince yourself. But if you're really ready at that point, you can take off, because there's 10 to 20 to hundreds of people who day by day have bought into your grind because you didn't fold. A lot of times with Oklahoma artists, where I see them fold is they disappear.
Get this discouraged.
Like life happens. Like I done went from the hospital, visiting somebody really close that I'm not gonna say, to a show, to right back sleeping on the floor of the hospital. You gotta be willing to grind that. And what Oklahoma guy will fail is he show you the video of every step of the way. Like I'm at the hospital studying, and then it ain't cute then. You just have to be willing long term to go step by step, no matter what. Whether that bill come in, whether that job come in, whether they repo you, whatever, you have to be consistent. And a lot of times, life is gonna hit you. Like when you've been working on your project, now that you're working on your album, things are gonna hit you that you never imagined it came. Like it be situations that where life teaches you, if you want to be successful, is are you gonna keep going? A lot of people fold when that first issue come, that first child hearing, that first whatever come, they fold, and that happens.
You only fold because it's not in you.
I won't even say that.
That's how I feel.
It may be in you, but a lot of us fall victim to the surroundings that we're in. And if you didn't believe in me more than I believed in myself, I'm gonna fall. Like I believe, but if you didn't like I gave you my CD. You came to my album party. You didn't tell me my album was dope. If I walk away and say I'm not that good, I'm not gonna persist. You have to be willing to say, you know what? No matter what they say,
you didn't believe.
No matter what people say, I'm willing to go for the long haul.
But some people need validation from other
but
people.
we look for instant. That goes back to the instant verification. We do.
I mean, but some people believe in
instant.
We all, I mean, we try to act like we don't.
We all do.
Nigga, I want to. If you listen to my shit, then
tell me how
I'm
good I
over
am.
side eyeing you, like, cause I know when this punchline finna come up.
Did you catch it?
That's true. But what I'm saying is some people believe in themselves enough that they don't need all that, and some people need a little bit more than others.
Yeah,
so some people, like you believe in your album,
right?
But some people may be looking for me to tell you that your album was good,
right? And then they can't tell me nothing. But you have to have that mindset.
So that's what I mean.
And that's the part that people fall victim to. And I'm not judging them because it's easy, because we need that energy. To be successful long term, you do need people. You do need grandma. Like, thank God for grandmas if you still got a real grandma in your life. Like, grandma gonna buy my CD, my hoodie, my T-shirt, regardless.
She might not play it.
And I don't care about nobody else.
But even if you don't have a grandma,
I mean,
you just have to find it. But because my family, I don't know if they listen, don't listen, got a hoodie, don't got a shirt. I show up every Sunday.
Right.
Because I believe in it.
Because you believe.
Exactly. And I don't care. And when people be like, well, are y'all making money?
Don't matter.
I don't care.
Not
we
yet.
ain't gotta make it can give us another year.
Not yet.
You can be
about
2
the money.
years. It can be 3 years. It can be whenever. Somebody told us one time, in time. Exactly. And whatever that comes, however that comes, and when it comes, it will come. But I believe in it. So I always believe that you should invest in yourself. You got to invest in yourself, because if you want other people to listen, how you going to expect somebody else to listen when you don't listen?
Right.
How you going to expect somebody else to care when you don't care?
Exactly. So yeah, you do got to believe in it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we believe in
I
it,
feel
but
what
when
you're
we
saying,
receive like little nuggets from people saying, I'm proud of y'all going to go to the top and stuff like that.
It feels good.
No, absolutely, 100%.
So when you hear that, so yes, everybody do need self-validation, but at the same time, you still have to believe in what you're doing.
For
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's
anyway.
I did have one more question for both of y'all though, because so what level are you want to take this? Are you trying to get signed? Or?
What I want to do, and I don't like comparing myself to like other artists and what they do, but the sky is the limit. But me, I'm a extrovert mixed with an introvert. I don't know if I would like all the paparazzi, you know what I'm saying, the shit that comes along with, you know, stars or whatever. So if I can get like a currency, I just want somebody to listen. If I can get a currency following, drop that. But really what I want to do is I want to put some shit out that just goes so hard that motherfuckers feel, and I can drop back and then drop anything that I want at any given time. And they're going to listen to it, and they're going to support it. That takes time. You go to your Andre 3000s, you know what I mean? Like, anytime this nigga, like, he's in hiding, right? But when he drops something, we all ears. That takes a lot of time, and he had this star. That's how at first it took years to do it. And I get that, and I get that. But that's what I would love. And I say the currency. All currency does is looks at his Twitter, see who follows him, and then he goes to that particular demographic because that's who fucks with him, gets his money. You don't niggas are still
he's a rapper.
Yeah, currency.
Andre 3000. Oh, that's currency.
No. She know who you know who Andre 3000. Yeah,
No, he just said
currency is a rapper. I wouldn't mind. I would love to be considered a underground sensation. I don't have to be mainstream.
Okay.
I don't have to be Drake and the Jay-Z's, but I would like the revenue to do what the Drake and the Jay-Z's do. That's just
As an Andre 3000.
As an Andre
3000.
Absolutely, you have to, because people know how people, and it's gonna have to happen. And like I said, I know that it would have to be the progression of being out there in the age that we're in right now, the technology age. You have to have content, and you've got to be in somebody's face again and again, like fucking DJ Khaled. I don't know if y'all follow that nigga on IG, but shit, that nigga, every time I scroll up, he's at 3 people, then it's him. 3, 4, 5 people, then it's him. So, like, I get it. And if you have product, which is going to create revenue, and then what you're promoting, you're going to have to put that out there. You're going to put your face out there. But the end game, which I just saw, got back from Avengers. Should go hard. Yeah, I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But the end game is to be able to be that nigga, that boss nigga that's sitting back. It's like, okay, I just do music. I do music because I want to do. I got these houses over here. You know what I'm saying? I got these properties over there. I'm doing my thing. I got my product over here. I got my liquor over here. And when I want to drop some music, I'm going to drop it, and niggas is going to flock to it, and they're going to listen to it, and they're going to love it. And I can just fall back and just chill and do whatever I want to do. That's my ultimate. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's my ultimate.
Ask again, because.
Go ahead. And then you. I didn't get to hear what you want to do.
I want mainstream. I'm not in this to pretend. I'm not doing music to create memes, as J. Cole say. You know, some people do it just to do it. I feel like I'm talented enough to be on the stage every night. Reason why I was born in it. I saw music from the time I was claiming out the coochie to all the way up to now. You feel me? So I got a band, I got songs. This is not just for play. I feel like that mainstream is where I need to head. I feel like trying to stay local is a waste of money for me and a waste of time. If I'm not trying to get out of here, I need to quit doing music. That's the goal. Yeah. So I want mainstream. I want the big stage. I want a good enough platform to be able to come back home and help struggling artists here because won't nobody listen. Like, that is my ultimate goal, is to be that nigga, boss up, and then just come back and get talent. Nigga, I don't want to sing no more.
Yeah, on me.
I am the hood mayor in this motherfucker, bro. Just fall back. Yeah, I'm not finna do nothing after 3-4 albums. Cause I'm good. Yeah. But I'm gonna invest and come back because it's like we was talking about outside. Oklahoma ain't got nobody we can turn to and be like, big dog up there might like your music. He can send it out there and somebody from LA might take him. We don't got nobody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I want the mainstream. I want the videos. I want BET. I want VH1. She might get a reality show if I had food enough. I'm just gonna keep it 100. Like, I'm all about it. Like, I'm not hiding from the camera at all. Like, if you want to be behind, cool, give me that motherfucking mic. I'm taking it. But to answer your question, I want it all. I want the grand stage.
What's the question? Can I get the question?
You already got it.
You already did.
You already answered yours. You gave a long-winded answer.
Okay.
I heard they answer. Wait. Time out. I heard they answer. They answer. Can I change mine? I didn't hear mine.
You can't change yours.
I didn't hear my answer.
Okay, you got 1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah.
I got 1 minute.
1 minute.
What's your main focus on your whole platform? What's your main?
As cliche as it sounds, I want to inspire and educate. Like, I want to come from the big homie perspective. I want to let them know that, you know, it's okay to choose whatever lane you want to choose. And be comfortable in yourself. That's more than anything, any trend, any fad, anything that's going on currently. Like, a lot of times we fall into what's now, but you got to figure out what's sustainable. And that's the part that kids really don't grasp to, is what's sustainable. What can you do in 5 years? What is going to work now that you can work throughout 5 years to get to your end game versus that microwave that you're not going to get $1 million tomorrow. I'm sorry. It sounds good. I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you're going to have to grind. You're going to have to invest $50,000 before you ever get $1 million. And trying to impress that perception on them. And the best way you can do it with this demographic, with this age group, is you have to show them. And that's all I'm doing at this point is I'm going to go live every once in a while. I'm going to show you when I show up at a school in a superhero cape. I'm going to show you when I drop this album. I'm going to show you when I pull up in my Escalade. And then I'm also show you when I'm going to pull up in my underbucket. Because I actually drive my underbucket more than my Escalade.
Damn, I ain't heard my underbucket in a long time.
Oh, man, I'm the east side.
I
drive my underbucket. I got a couple of them. I still want one. Hey, man, I love it. Like, I'm not really into the whole flexing on y'all. I mean, that's cute if that's what you're into. But, I mean, cars and things to show people don't really mean nothing to me no more. It's like, a lot of people, it's trendy to honor Nipsey, right? It's trendy to honor guys like that. Cars don't mean that much to the legacy. Like, what are you really putting into the community? What are you really willing to give back? So that's why I go to these schools. That's why I actually go talk to these kids. And I do whatever they ask me to do. Image ain't shit to me because as long as my bills paid, nothing that nobody else have to say really matters.
So before we get out of here, though, let's make sure.
Where can they find
Where can they find y'all at?
You can find me on Facebook.
Say who you is.
Vokalgold. You can find me on Facebook. You can find the band page, Go to Experience Band, also on Facebook. You can find me on IG, Vokalgold. You can find me on Twitter. I'm just learning how to use Twitter. I kind of don't like it, but you got to do it. You got to do it. You can find me Vokalgold on Twitter as well.
How do you spell that?
Vokalgold. And that's about it.
L-1-3.
I don't know where to find me. I'm usually where I'm at. Facebook? No.
What are your platforms?
My platform, Now or Never is the album. Look it up. L-1-3 is the artist. I'm Louis Sumter on Facebook. I'm L-1-3. Musik on IG. That's hyphens, L-1-3. Louis Sumter still go by my government. That's how we live. And you don't find me, I find you.
Are you music-wise? Where is your music at?
It's everywhere. It's on all streaming platforms. If you want to check out Apple Music, I got an album out, Now or Never. Also 3 singles. Now or Never just dropped on 4/19/2019 because that was very important to our culture in Oklahoma because that's 24 years after the Murrah building bombing as we are downtown. So I did drop that for that because we literally are about to blow up again. This time in a positive way. All due respect to those 168 that lost their lives. Music is everywhere. All platforms, Apple, Tidal, Rhapsody, Napster, whatever you want to call it, Google Play. Now or Never, L-1-3.
Okay.
That's what's up. Platform-wise, right now, I have about 4 singles out on SoundCloud. June 19th. I'll be on all major platforms, Google Play, Apple, Spotify, all that shit that's out there. I Like It Like That. That's a single that's coming out. That's what's gonna hit. That's what they're gonna like. Yeah, that's the one that's gonna do it. Get your Hennessy ready. You know what I'm saying? Get your wine ready. It's gonna go down. Absolutely, but yeah, that's the platforms that I'm on right now. Facebook at OKSTEEVO, OKSTEEVO. Instagram OKSTEEVO. Snapchat OKSTEEVO. I'm on Tinder, Bumble, whatever you want to look at and come find me at. OKSTEEVO, yeah. Whatever y'all want it. You really Black Planet, MySpace. I still got my MySpace account, yeah. Whatever you want to do, try to find me, to try to follow the movement. That's where you can find me at. Yeah,
Thank you, Mocha T.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, so this is my thing.
Mr. Baby,
we got 3 strong black men, so I knew I could bring that question in.
That's for damn sure.
I promised I listened to y'all's music, and I was like, I can bring that question in here, and I knew I was going to get a conversation. So I appreciate you guys for coming and joining us.
Appreciate you having us.
Man.
We have been crazy busy this weekend.
Man.
And we appreciate the support, so much support. Poetry and Chill had us on Friday. We did 405 live podcast on yesterday.
Salute my boys. What up? Eastside Fetty Teddy. E.T.
On today, we were at the Northeast Community and Cultural Center. That is a great resource on the east side.
I love it.
36th and Kelly, they are serving free meals on Monday through Friday. She's doing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. On Saturday and Sunday, I think they're just doing maybe lunch and dinner on Saturday, and then just dinner on Sunday.
This for people who need it? Or?
This is a free resource. Free for anybody. Literally. College students, anybody that's senior citizens. If you got a grandparent you go visit every week that you know.
Take a plate.
Right, needs to eat, and you don't want to spend money, and you might be strapped because of your family or what you got going on, or even if you're just trying to save and invest money, because we always talk about investing. Put that money up, go stop by there. You got 7 days a week. You can stop by there, pick up a meal, take it to your grandparent or whoever that needs that meal, and drop that off. It's good food, it's soul food, it's hot food. Yeah. It's not like they're not doing sandwiches and chips and hot dogs. They are cooking meals. They have meatloaf, chicken. They have spinach, spinach. They have pinto beans. They have cornbread. Anybody.
We just went up there and served today.
So who is this again?
It's the Northeast Community and Cultural Center on 36th and Kelly. The address is 3815 North Kelly Avenue. Pull up on them. I mean, like I said, this is a great resource. I didn't know anything about it till this week. When we got there today, I was just like, this is mad. Like, this is something that a lot of people in our community need to know about. Yeah. We have a lot of families in our community that need that. So I was just blown away by it. Like, literally nobody, they didn't pull $1 out, and this was probably some resources that a lot of people need, and it's coming into this summertime. So we have a lot of our kids that generally only eat when they go to school. And this will be an amazing resource for them, so I was just really blown away by it. Like I said, it's a hot meal and it's good food.
That's big time.
What blew me away about it is, like, people were coming in and needing 3 plates. It was one person needing 3 plates, and we fixed 3 plates and gave it to go.
And packed it to go.
Right, so it wasn't any limitations on it.
Not only that, but then she said...
And we had plates that we actually packed up just in case some other people came and set them on the counter.
And she said... for you to donate to them?
You can donate.
You can donate to them. She also said that anytime somebody comes in, because she don't know people's walks of life, she said she had a lady that came in, hadn't eaten for 4 days. She told her, eat till you full.
Right.
She had 0 limits to this, and it was just, like I said, watching it today was just that amazing for us.
The kids, it was amazing.
Kids coming in, getting meals for their grandparents. Like I said, I grew up on the east side. We was walking everywhere. That's what we did. That's what we did when we were little. So I'm sure that a lot of kids still do that. So at this point, like I said, it's a resource I think that so many people in our community need to know about. We talk about bringing stuff to our community. She not looking for not a dime. She talking about retiring and doing this.
Yeah.
And they also have like other events. I think Mika said they have like concerts and stuff.
They have live bands. You know where it is, Kyle, right? Yeah.
I almost got a gig there.
So I just, I think it's amazing that they did that. Like I said, we've had a really busy week. We'll rest for the week maybe and get back to it. How that looks. And get back to it next weekend. But thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for believing in us enough to come on our platform and speak. Like, that's big to us.
We need more platforms. So
we appreciate that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You guys can find us all week on SoundCloud and YouTube. We post a new episode every Sunday. On Monday and Friday, and this is the blessing for these artists on here, we are on SeattleHipHopRadio.com. Tony, this is why we say all the time support is just amazing. Like, he literally reached out. He listened to us on our platform, on social media. People say social media is not that big. To us, it was great. It was big, huge, because that's how he found us. Listened to our platform, saw us important enough to put us on his platform. We are the first all-woman Black podcasters on his platform. So we didn't ask for it. We didn't reach out. We didn't ask. We just responded to his message, and this is what he gave us. And when I reached out and said, "Hey, what if we go on other platforms?" He said, "Y'all doing something right. This is not being selfish with his platform. Has been 100% supportive of our platform, and it's like, I just want y'all to get out there." Nope. So we appreciate that. You
What's
guys,
up, Seattle? Shit.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's Seattle. It's actually played
in different countries.
Right, it's on different countries.
Yeah, we get the numbers every week.
Right.
So that's the best feeling put on that train.
Yeah. Right. Seattle Hip Hop Radio. Y'all listen. It's a 24-hour platform. He's got new artists on there on a regular basis. It's just a platform that he's created to be able to reach people across the world. So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're on there from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. is our space. So if you guys get time on Mondays and Fridays, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, listen to that. And we are on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm getting better at Twitter because I don't always usually post. I'm going to get better on Twitter, though. And then right. On Instagram, we're MochaT_podcast. On Facebook, we're MochaT Podcast. On Twitter, we are MochaT Podcast. And then we have our Gmail account, which is MochaT2018@gmail.com. Hit us up if y'all have any questions. And thank you for listening. We are out.
The laws and limitations is up. I can talk about it now. Made it out the hood, but I'm still in it. Took some losses in this game, but I'm still winning. I've been out the streets for a minute. Made it out the hood, but I'm still in it. I'm just trying to get it, I'm just trying to get it. Ain't nobody done it like my niggas did it. Everything I talk about, I swear I live it. Came up on the corner from the kitchen. Came up from them grams off of scales. Before digitals, it was handheld. Before online, we was getting mail. Trapped off a beeper just to get a sale. Now I got a job and a salary. Going crazy in this bitch, I need therapy. No limit to this shit, shout out Master P. You can be a champion or a casualty. I did the right things naturally. Could have been the first, but they couldn't go after me. When it's all said and done, they gon' say that we won and I'm the motherfucking one. Catch up. Made it out the hood, but I'm still in it. Took some losses in this game, but I'm still winning. I've been out the streets for a minute. Made it out the hood, but I'm still in it.
Stuff. New kid on the block, yeah, I got the right stuff. Hustler from way back, don't make them like us. That check gon' be handsome, please don't make me blush. Had some setbacks, I put moves into play. Scheming with Paulie, we plot every day. We do not wish, no, we put in that work. To see money tree, you must plant to see first. They say money talks, but you know talk is cheap. When I get money, you won't hear a peep. Divided with all of my peeps. I paid the cost, nothing in life is free. 35 South, I got back on the road. Sold everything I had set for my soul. As God is my witness, I'm all about business, I'm all about fitness. Get pockets on swole. Please don't mind me, I'm on my J.O.B. You rappers are weak like SWV. Top 5 in my book and that's DOA. Contest me, I fear no one but G.O.D.